Powerstone, like it or die. I got the gun right here. Doesn't do anything. Actually lights up, that's fun. Powerstone's a piece of dead media. 2 games, a PSP collection, and an anime. Perhaps surprisingly, it features characters in search of powerful stones. Yeah, it's not super high concept, but who cares? It's fun, unique, characteristic, and its gameplay is really interesting too. Inspiring a pile of brawlers from One Piece Grand Battle to Barbarian, Kung Fu Chaos.
Oh, Ninja, you make me feel like woman.
Haha, forget your face. I kick sand on your breasts.
We don't talk about that one. So throw a little spec on that name. It's one of the greats. It's the first game I remember playing in an arcade before that entire economy crumbled to dust. And now I know what you're thinking. Why should I care or watch this video? Well, I'm so glad you asked, audience of 95% men. What the fuck? Here's a few reasons I thought up. Depression, ADHD, you're extremely hot and or beautiful. Oh, that's 100% of my audience. Catch y'all at the credits, everyone. It's time for Powerstone! Yo! Powerstone kicks ass. I feel like I shouldn't have to praise it, but hey, why not? It's all the stuff I love about games. Facing off in a death battle, heavily interactive environments, colorful characters with powers. It's conceptually perfect. Gonna need a cleaver for this slime, brother. I say perfect, but to be fair to all humanity, they did make the main character British. But to be fair to Capcom, they called him Edward Fucker. So I guess we're even. First thing to review in Powerstone, the characters. There's Edward, Ayame, Jack the Ripper. Oh, I thought this was a kid's thing. Is he like that in the anime?
Don't come any closer, you hear?
It's me, Mama. Rouge, it's me.
Jesus Christ, this man's an incel. This man is a simp. There's a couple of modes, but times are hard, so we're stuck on solo arcade. Can I just say how pissed I am that this gameplay concept was dropped? You got all these beautiful character designs, all these picturesque stages, fun and frantic gameplay, really explosive attacks. And there's never been another even half as good, except One Piece Grand Adventure specifically. Let me try to capture the magic. It's launching those missiles for the first time and obliterating your enemy. It's turning into a fully metallic samurai, dude, that's badass. It's launching a whole-ass spirit bomb and winning the game, locking your enemy into a full-on kill combo. And that's just Powerstone's super moves. That's just one aspect of the gameplay, and it's not the only flash on offer. Powerstone is a simple game. You can pick it up in a minute, so you can tell your semi-competitive Smash friend to drop all that because it's Powerstone night, son! And once you learn about pushing benches, hop-launching objects, clinging to poles, climbing the ceiling, jumping off walls, all of which is fixed to one button. By the way, the game evolves into a frenetic freeform jazz. It's fascinating gameplay and easy to learn. You can jump, punch, kick, throw your enemy, important for grappler types, and interact with objects. It's also extremely understandable to watch, like easy to parse visually, and one of the few truly interactive brawler games. I can press the one button to grab a pole, and press it again to do a homing attack on my opponent. Look at that! It's what separates the game from its worthy copycats. Even One Piece doesn't really deal with ceilings, walls, and poles. That game's much more focused on the 1v1, and that's fine, but Powerstone has a flavor you can't really taste anywhere else. There is, for sure, a dick joke staring me right in the face. It's on the tip of my tongue. Items factor in heavily, and if you're a Smash purist like myself, you might be turned off by that, but let me plead my case. Lots of items don't really matter. Crowbars, swords, other crap, who cares? But some of the guns are just funny. The soccer ball will straight up kill you. It's another layer of frantic caked on the gameplay, but they're not overly oppressive or anything, and some straight up cap your movement. They're okay. If the game has drawbacks, and by that I mean secret strengths, it's the universal dive kick and the power stones themselves. Getting a little nerdy, but shut up. So every character has a dive kick. Tap in the air and whoosh. Damn, that's a good option! Every character having this homing aerial move turns the neutral, or for individuals who've never smashed a controller, the little dance you do before someone lands a punch. That whole thing ends up reduced to who jump kicks last, or fastest. Kinda like dive kick. You'll score a knockdown, and By the way, you can knock collected Power Stones and items out of people's hands with a clean hit. So that single dive kick with its range, speed, and accuracy, and lack of quality anti-air options in general, tends to paint over the diversity of play a bit. That said, the game is fast because of this, really fast, and aside from any dive kick shenanigans or wall jumping, it's mostly because the goal isn't really to punch your opponent to death, it's to grab 3 Power Stones and send them to the f***ing Shadow Realm. Seriously, the fulcrum of gameplay turns on these stones. They're that important. Like, a powered-up character isn't invincible or anything. You can still get smacked around if you're careless, but powering up really cracks your offense open, depending on the character, with huge projectiles, hard-to-dodge attacks, tons of damage, even anti-air options in some cases. Some people would call it cat and mouse, but I dare to call it pred x prey. I'm going to hell. I know I said Power Stone is for kids, but guys, what the hell is that final boss? I get it, Capcom, you made Resident Evil. Whatever. Kill it with fire and let's go. So we got this freeform mad scramble that kicks ass, great, but it's bigger than that. It's exactly the classic Capcom business I like to see. And such a nostalgic Capcom concept. Characters from all over the globe, stages that visually encapsulate the world, just like Street Fighter. Only the stages have physical character. Power Stone is easy to remember because its visuals, its branding, are the stuff of legend. That said, game's explicitly designed for kids, not that it's an issue, but when you think about why Power Stone died so soon, sure, sales might have been the greatest factor, but I have a feeling it wouldn't fly so well today. Let me drop a disclaimer. I like Power Stone for what it is. I know that lots of people who feel represented in Power Stone like it too. There's something genuinely magical about having a character from your country appear in a game. I played a lot of Maxima and KOF 13 because he was from Canada, even though I almost never play burly characters or grapplers. Wang Tang is awesome. Super cool character. Though he's actually called Wonton in Japan, okay, he's named after food from his real-life country of origin. Sure, Galuda, who's actually called Garuda. He's an indigenous person, so naturally he's doing the T-Hawk cross arms, smoking the peace pipe, has a totem-themed power form, shoots spirit arrows from his spirit bow, and finds the Power Stone to marry the village chief's daughter. Garuda, you're not even a person. You're just a big trope! Though, great restraint shown in moving literally 1 inch past the Peter Pan bit. I don't know, these are meant to be cool encapsulations of various cultures, which is why I found it really compelling at a young age. This kind of World Warrior concept speaks best to young people interested in the world and its cultures. And it gets insensitive, no doubt, but I think it's intended to be celebratory. You know, Fokkers drinking tea, not doing an imperialism. So, maybe we'll leave the kids' media alone this time. For today. Tomorrow, who knows? Though it does make me sad that this packaging of culture is so effective. Playing to stereotypes, even positive ones at times, is probably gonna be more effective for more people than intelligently subverting tropes with unexpected designs. It's hard to take the high road. I'm gonna start dooming about the human species in a sec. Let's jump topics. Power Stone 2 heard me whining about tropes, and instead of adding, like, a Sikh or a Pacific Islander or something, flesh out the world a bit, you know? They went with Western Gunner, Pinocchio, a princess, and, chef? You are among the most disgusting men I've ever seen. What a weird game. You know what, let's sample a clip. Oh dang, oh nice. That looks really neat actually, KBash. What do you mean? Oh. Where'd the dive kick go? Power Stone 2 came out a brisk year after the first. Wild times, and while the framework is familiar, the execution's a little different. Specifically because Power Stone 1 only allows for 2 players, while the sequel allows 4. Like a proper party brawler should. But I think someone figured out that while 4 consecutive players is cool and helps the game feel more alive, having 4 leaping psychopaths dive bombing each other with homing jump kicks is a f***ing nightmare. So they nixed the move entirely. The problem is, that was fundamental to play. That move was the bite in the winter breeze, bro. Now you gotta walk everywhere. And yeah, you should take a walk every once in a while. Sitting's the new smoking, and you're gonna die. Same TBH, but now the fundamental gameplay of Power Stone 2, 4 players or not, feels slow, deliberately stunted, and it takes some adjusting. Not trying to shill for One Piece Grand Adventure, but I'm just saying you can dive kick in that game with 4 players and it's not locked to an enemy, so maybe give that a look. Now 2 does a lot of what you'd expect, adds new characters, gets a little goopless with its stages, has some fun, and frankly expanding typical play to 4 players does a lot of good for the brawler formula. Yeah, you've got stubby hitboxes, but there's usually someone to punch even if a couple of players are far away. Feels more like a bar fight. Apparently. I mean, I wouldn't know. You can hit more people with items and super attacks, drop a little drive-by missile. You know, spraying into a crowd, your efforts feel more impactful. The entire meta of the Power Stone scramble, that constant tension, is slightly eased. The player can assume losing a stone won't get them killed, but now it's that much harder to consistently power up. Power Stone 2 is specifically interesting for showing how minor dynamic changes cause total paradigm shifts for players. Taking that recipe and using milk instead of cream. I got food analogies, bro. I'm cooking with gas. They also cut off one of the attack buttons, so there's even less to invest into the game. For reference, here's some of the combo paths from the first game with only 2 attack buttons. It's not just dumbed down, it's brain off.
Look at this funny skateboard man.
But my main gripe in all of this has nothing to do with that. It's about stage design. I like the increased chaos of 4 potential players. I think that losing the kick sucks, but makes sense overall. But so many of these stages are all style, no substance. Don't get me wrong. I have a couple keywords that give me an enormous tent in my pants, from dark fantasy to customization to interacting with stage elements, and in this case, it's evolving stages. They're fantastic, so flashy and fun. You can fight on top of an airship, on top of a couple submarines, swimming in the ocean, bro. This is sick. There's even an Indiana Jones segment in the one. It's like they meant to turn Power Stone into a party game. And that's fine, I get that. But if you noticed, the older stages include a lot more interactive elements, from furniture to poles to the ceiling itself. And almost all of that stuff is cut or severely curtailed. And again, I get it. They probably needed to preserve performance and the integrity of a chaotic 4-person match. Maybe they had it all in testing and shit got too wild. But the game just isn't all that fast-moving anymore or emergent. It's a lot of running to the next checkpoint and fishing for power stones safely. Bums me out a little bit. And think of the implications of all this. You aren't loading into a dingy saloon for a table-hopping slugfest. You gotta get on the bus, commute for 8 minutes, and get dropped off at the conclusion. Or in normal human speech, sorry, let me put in my filters, you're more focused on moving through the stage as directed than fighting. And yeah, it's not all of them, and it's not all the time, but it's a pervasive thought during play. It's not pure distilled chaos anymore. It's a Weasley-ass game. It's so screwed up. One little knob turn, one little change, whole thing's fucked. And that final stage is whack as hell. Bring back the puke monster. Anyway, nobody's playing these anymore. If you've been paying attention, I don't think there's a definitive Power Stone title. Like, yeah, I think 1's the better game, but some of 2's additions, namely multiplayer, feel like necessary additions, but they come at such a cost. I played the PSP collection, which comes packed with all this bonus stuff, all these 8-bit games. Is that what that is? It feels worse than 8-bit, and concept art for days. Now, audience, pipe down, please. We are witnessing the origin of the Virgin Walk meme. Oh my god. It's like 1-to-1. Why is it the Virgin Walk meme? Oh dude, online mode! You can't bring the arcades back. What stands out is the amount of background work informing the series. Capcom only published 2 games in 2 years before pulling the plug. But it's a vibrant, colorful world with plenty of room for growth. At least a little world building was done. Alternate Earth's a great setting, and the designs are killer. Not quite timeless, but they're endearing relics. There's a 26-episode anime to flesh the thing out further. I can't really stress how much potential there is for a remake, especially if they clean up the gameplay and decide on what matters most. You know, remedy the gulf between 1 and 2, and expand player options. It's the idiot's fighter. No offense. I mean, anyone can pick it up and make it happen. Just like that. That's incredible. So come on down to my place. Don't do that, actually. I will blast this in your ear until you leave. Hey, it's KBash. Huge thanks goes out to my $4 patrons whose names are on the screen. The show's finally getting somewhere thanks to the community's generosity. And special thanks goes to my extra generous patrons who are Adam Welsh, Acropolion, Alex, Andy Blarg, Arch, Axin8, Azulus, Basement Dweller, Bearkeeper, BZ Soul, Ben M, Blake Against the Machine, Bohop, Boom Dead, Brios, Brianna Wu, Cal, Can I Cuss on Captain Here? Blasted, Captain Wave, Caesar T, Chiefy Boy, Corden, Chris Bromo, Cody Golden, Couch Mo, Corgi the Lad, Trader, CW Glassworks, Kyle Cynical, Daddy Dagoth, Don Diem, Dakota Storm Jones, Danky Stag, Swaggy David Castillo, Dara, Decode, Dead, Dennis Amaya, Diablo, Dr. Cullen PhD, Stolen Coffee, 8-Bit Funk, Elias, Elpio, Elsa, Aesthetico, Everstone Isle,
Exa,
Fupa Saiyan, Frankenstitch,
Frisky Nippler.
Glyph Seeker,
Goose,
6112,
Gray, the darkest black.
Guard Gucci Plant, Hatsune Miku's Crack House,
Archive,
Demon, Game & Station,
Hex-Mex,
Horn Tiger,
Huey.
I'm supporting KBash just because I wanted to make this part of the video longer. Ingenious Clown, I punched a sandwich, Irrational, Irradiated Cherries, Dice Kyle, It's Time to Sue, It's Not Good, Ivy Ruth Langley, Jacob, James, Jason Lasky, Jaden, Jadeus, Joke Frog, Jordan Joyner, Julian My Julian, Keegan Too Cool, Kata Snack, King Kuma, Clock Crating, Crazy Dark Chocolate, Ice, Kyle, KZ Excellent, Lady Dentalian, Tricks, Laundry Mom, Lego Sid, Loathsome Dung Eater, Low Fat Moger, Lucas Boyd, Lucky McSmucky, Magical Madman, Mama Rollin, Mara Ganger, Marcules, Mugio, Maximilian Wolfgang Niver, Mike DeVere, Milky Moo Official, Monochrome Only, Mr. Dodongo, Mr. Whiskey 282, Nyrenew, Nito Torpedo, Norian, Daridius, Old Burgle, Old Man Cranberry, Only LK, The Plant, Pandemic Cowboy, Pinata, PK Gaming, Popular Hitman, Potato Gaming HD, Proctal and Pals, Quasar McDougal, Quillworth, Quinn, Reasonable Willow, Reggie Rodriguez, Ricochet Frame, Ringed Relay, Rube, Ryan Maury Brooks, Sagitrash, Siren Smells Good, Salty Smasher, Scribe Slendy, Sakai no Awarda, Shod, Silver Bear 909, Soon. God! Sleepy Wabbit, Suckdolager, Space Lizard, Spooky Grimalkin, Squidged, Squishword, Starbound, Stormstrider, Sublime Cataclysm, Super Sandwich Guy, George Chubbington, The Big Bubby, The Salt Knight, The Poop, Thick Dick Mystic, Thrips Heartthrob, Timid the Writer, Total Play, Travis Edwards, Twiddle Chungus, Vid, Valenrist, Venom, Vice Pup, Viewers Like You, Vic, Waposa, Weeb Trash, Well Shit, Waylon, Where Am I Help, Winter Solstice, Win TV, Zanny Tanner, Yashichi, Yeet Zachary Livesey, Zachary Zanasso, Zane the Impure, Zane the Pure, Zeradax, Zed Slayer Gamer, Zero Zalazar, Sylvan Ray, Cyberbunk. If you'd like to help support the show, unlock new long-form projects, and help me keep improving, check out my Patreon. We got all kinds of goals and lots more videos in store. Stay tuned for more. KBash out.